All right, so close your eyes for a second and just picture your dream car, your dream job, your dream pet, your dream whatever. If there was a genie plastered in front of you right at this moment, would your wishes consist of that list of things without you having to do an ounce of work to get them? Thank you to our honorable chairperson and our judge for being here, and thank you to my leaders, my family, my friends, and fellow 4-Hers for listening in. Success is something that we've all wanted in life, regardless of who we are, where we're from, or what our background is. It's something that everybody has wanted, whether, like I said, it's a dream job, or it's a dream car, or it's something smaller, like getting that champion trophy or ribbon in poultry showmanship for 4-H. One thing that we have to realize is that there's a process to achieving success. And we have to realize that we have to go through that process because success doesn't come lickety-split. It comes with hard work and dedication. But on that journey to success, we will run into mistakes and we'll do a couple failures. But people will walk up to you and say, hey, it's just a journey. You make mistakes, you learn from them. You're going to push on and you might fix those mistakes, but you are going to run into them. And although they may discourage us, we have to realize that we learn from them, like that person is telling you. It's in the 4-H motto. We learn to do by doing. Famous inventor Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, he had that goal in mind, create the light bulb. But when he and his assistant were trying to create it, they ran into over 2,000 different mistakes. And Edison's assistant said to him, "Sir, all of our work is in vain. It means nothing." But then Edison looked back at him and said, "No, we haven't made 2,000 mistakes. We've learned 2,000 things because now we know that there's over 2,000 elements that can't create a good light bulb." In my Career Life Connections 10 class last year, we were going through the journey of success, and we were taught a little tip to make smaller goals to achieve one final big goal. And one example that kept coming up again and again and again was the Iron Cowboy, whose goal was to run 50 Ironmans in 50 days in 50 US states. And that consisted of swimming 4 kilometers, running 42.8 kilometers, and biking 180 kilometers every single day for 50 days in a row. In his mind, the distance was converted into miles, but when he was doing his swimming, he wasn't saying, well, I've got 2.5 miles to swim, let me just get it over and done with. In his mind, it was, I'm just going to do 1,000 feet by 1,000 feet, and eventually I will accumulate 2.5 miles, and I'll be done with it. He's most notable for saying during his biking, well, I'm not just going to do 112 miles consecutively, straight through each other. He said, I'm going to do 10 miles, I'm going to rest for a few seconds, and I'm going to do 10 miles again. He never had in his mind that he was just doing 112 miles. On his webpage, on his website, he has a quote which sums up what my speech is about. It's success is about doing a lot of little things consistently over and over and over again until you achieve your final goal. And if I were to add one thing to that, it would be whether through failure and mistakes or not. Another thing to keep in mind is to have faith in yourself to reach your goals. And if you do end up making mistakes, to go back and say, well, where did I mess up and how can I fix this? Nate Feuerstein, famous music artist, says in his song Hope, what's my definition of success? Well, it's a person who will never waver or change who they are just to try and gain some credibility so they can feel accepted by a stranger. It's somebody who can take the failures in their life and turn them into motivation. It's having faith in yourself and believing that you can reach something, because if you don't, why would you expect anybody else to have faith in you? And it's those two lines, being able to turn your failures into motivation and having faith in yourself, that really sums up what the journey to success is. If you don't have faith in yourself, how are you going to carry on through your mistakes? Because faith is consisted in this sense, resilience and grit, where you want to keep going and keep pushing on. If you're doing a showmanship for chickens and you go up to the table and you're going over wing anatomy and you forget the alula feather, or you're going over leg anatomy and you say that the shank is above the hock, like I did last year, it's having faith in yourself is being able to realize that those are mistakes that you need to change, and there's a little bit more for you to learn, right? So it's creating a little system so that you can remember that the hawk is above the shank because H is before S in the alphabet. It's success doesn't come naturally, right? You have to, if you make a mistake, you have to go back and you have to tell yourself, well, I messed up. I've got to fix that. What can I do to help me remember that? It's because just because you've been doing something for years and years and years, if you've been in 4-H ever since you were Clover Bud and you've been doing poultry, for 16, 17 years, just because you're doing it doesn't mean that you're going to be an expert in it. It's having the experience. Time doesn't equal success. Experience equals success. And what comes with that experience? Mistakes and failures that you have to push back on and say, I need to fix this and I can do better next time. Thank you.